Hey everybody. I just wanted to take a moment to come on and speak with you all about the times that we're facing right now and how difficult I know that it is for me and my family. I want to use this channel as a means for healing in all kinds of ways, but I do feel that authenticity is really needed right now, and kindness and compassion, love, all of those high frequency things are really needed right now. It's really hard to do whenever we're living in such times of turmoil and divide. And as a parent myself, I find that I'm really dysregulated a lot of the time. I work in mental health, and not only do I see it in my clients, but I feel it, and I'm so bad at keeping that energy stuck in me. I've been trying to get out of it, and it's just really hard and emotionally and mentally draining. And when you live in a really hot state, that kind of takes away the joy of enjoying nature and going outdoors whenever you're sweating all the time, which is kind of the bane of my existence. So I've been gravitating towards things like, and this is going to sound really woo-woo and probably pretty out there, but I'm at a point in my life where I don't care, because anything that is able to provide good energy and a word of affirmation is really important to me. I've been tuning into GFL Station on YouTube, and really what that channel is about is extraterrestrials, interdimensional beings coming through and kind of shedding a light on what's going on through channeled human beings. Last night, when I was laying in bed, coloring on my coloring app, because that's just kind of how I unwind, I listened to one from last night that really gave me a lot of encouragement, and it made me feel a lot of love. I'm trying not to get emotional. When I don't feel it really outside of my home, or with my friends and family. I've been doing a lot of self-isolating lately, and that's not something that I really want to do, because I enjoy being out of the house. I enjoy not necessarily socializing, but just being involved in my community whenever I can, and being the light that a lot of people need right now. But it's so hard. Anyway, I kind of got off topic. The message of that transmission last night that I listened to was about how we're not alone, and we have our intergalactic family that is around us all the time. And even when we act in small ways, it creates a big change, and it provides a lot of light that is needed on Earth right now. And I don't know about y'all, but October has been really rough for me. We had a full moon in Aries, and I'm in Aries, so there were a lot of things, I guess, that I needed to close out within myself. Or there was just kind of like a closure of people being self-centered and kind of like that shadow side of Aries. And I'm hoping that this new moon that's coming up in Libra on the 21st of October is transformational, and we start coming together as not only a nation, but a world more than what we have. I'm just really tired of all the ugliness. I don't think any person in a position of power should be able to have so much hold of us that we are able to use their openness of divisiveness as a means to treat people badly or excuse behaviors that are frankly just inhumane. And that starts with us as parents too. Like, you know, how do I say this? I really believe my mission in life is to really help people and guide people to be themselves without fear, to be authentic, to be a light when no one else has it, where they feel that they're lacking it. So I try to inspire that in others, or I try to inspire kids and teenagers to find that even though they've been conditioned to have a lack mindset or a scarcity mindset, I truly believe that our childhood does not define us. It just kind of carries over with us into adulthood. And working with our kids and working in ourselves to find what really inspires us and fuels our fire and lights our passion, and be able to utilize that as a means to make the world better, I firmly believe that's what we're here for. So I ask a lot of people what their purpose in life is, or what they feel like their purpose in life is. And a lot of times it really aligns with like what sets your soul on fire and what you're passionate about. And if you don't know what you're passionate about, then let's find something that you're passionate about. Let's find a way that you can express yourself and your talents to inspire others and serve others. Because, you know, that saying, it takes a village, there's so much truth behind that. And somewhere along the line, not even as a society, but globally, we lost that. We have become these creatures that are so individual, that are only for ourselves. When did that happen? When did that happen? And there are literally people that are feeling so alone right now. Even when they're surrounded by friends and family that love them and care about them, they feel so alone that they feel like there's no other way but out. And I have my own thoughts about that. But it's not easy being a soul, having a human experience right now. And with that being said, I feel like just knowing that should inspire us to help our neighbor and love thy neighbor. And I've been listening to a lot of John Fugelsang. I found him on a Marianne Williamson podcast. And I bought his book, which is amazing so far. I don't necessarily consider myself of the Christian faith because I have a lot of religious trauma in my background, and I've been trying to work through it for years. And I know that it's not, you know, God's fault, or it's not Jesus's fault that I've endured that. But I really think that for whatever reason, a lot of people have religious trauma and they've turned away from Christianity because it's been so used against them. And look at how people are being treated. People are not being loved by their neighbor. People are not being loved and healed and welcomed. There's just a lot of like turning away, calling people names without even knowing them, knowing their story, implementing these governances or trying to make it legal to bastardize really awesome things that were put in place for the good of everybody. I don't agree with the whole, oh, well, they're woke. What's wrong with being woke? Honestly, it means you're awake. Woke to what? I've never gotten this. And if it's like an insult to a certain population, I don't get that either. If you're going to say that I'm woke, do you really think it's going to insult me? No, it's not going to. Because to me, it means that I'm enlightened. So, I mean, words these days just cut worse than swords. It's like, anytime I think about, the evilness of words, I always think of, because I'm a Lord of the Rings nerd, I always think of the blade that Frodo was stabbed with on Weathertop, the Morgul blade. And maybe that was what J.R.R. Tolkien was writing about when, maybe that was a metaphor for him to write about in that book. Because words are less than actions. I get that. But I've always said I would rather be physically abused than emotionally or verbally abused. Because that is psychological. That stays with you. And there's a lot of talk these days about psyops, and there's a lot of talk about psychological warfare. It's a real thing. And words are so hard to forget. They stay with you. That energy stays with you. And whenever you have so much heaviness in the evilness of words, it's like there are many people who can give you beautiful, loving words, and it's just like these little pings of light that are hitting that huge dark energy just because everybody, it seems, has it in their mind that it's okay to say whatever they want, whenever they want, and they don't care or have the empathy or are even capable of having empathy enough to understand the effect of those words. And it's not even that words like pierce your brain and you think about them all the time. I mean, this is like deep trauma. Like the way we use our words, it is so important because they go right to your heart. And your heart, there's a reason why people say heart and soul. Your heart is your soul. And when you say someone has a good heart, that means you have a good soul. To me, at least, anyway. I'm speaking for myself. I guess really what I'm trying to say is that it's been a really rough go of it. And instead of us being divisive and working against each other, let's try to come together despite political differences, despite any kind of difference, really. We're all here together. We should be helping one another. It's a struggle. And you never know, like, what season your struggle is going to be. Just because you're not struggling now doesn't mean you're not ever going to. And that's kind of a scary thought in itself. I mean, why would you want to create that karma? Why would you want to turn away your neighbor? Why would you want to keep people in lack? Why would you want to keep your society in lack? Why would you want other people to struggle? Because your time's coming. It will come. And it might not be today and it might not be tomorrow, but it'll come. And sooner or later, you're going to have to take accountability and answer for it. And that's another thing. A lot of people these days just don't want to take accountability for anything. And look, it's hard. I get that. I don't know one person who wants to be wrong all the time. Usually, we all want to be right at some point. But it doesn't mean that we can't come together and talk things out and find a middle ground, or that we shouldn't. And if you're about people suffering, then I'm sorry, you're going to have a really difficult life review. Like, especially if you've inflicted a lot of pain on people, because there's people that you don't even know that you're inflicting pain on. In one way or another, we all should be able to live equally, fairly, have the same rights. And I'm coming through a pagan woman lens. Usually I apologize for being passionate. I'm not going to apologize today for it. I'm tired of feeling like I have to stay quiet. I'm tired of feeling like I can't use my voice. I'm tired of people in not only my generation, but my kids' generation feeling like they can't say anything because it's going to be disrespectful. And if you're taking it as disrespectful, then maybe that's an opportunity for you to do some self-reflection. I don't know what to tell you. Because we teach our kids, if it's not directly, it's indirectly, by our behaviors and how we treat others. I mean, our kids are watching us. And, you know, like this generation, like my son's generation, I'm telling you one thing, they're not going to stay quiet. And I don't think that's such a bad thing, because they're not staying quiet whenever they see something that morally doesn't align with them. They're not staying quiet about injustices. And whenever I was a teenager, I remember back in the early 2000s and, the late 90s, I was so encouraged that my generation was going to be making a change. And maybe we are, by raising the kids that are going to make a change for the better, because this world needs to be better and we all need to be better. We all need to unite and be the light that outshines all the darkness and all the crap that is going on in this world right now. There's no reason for war. There's no reason why anybody should live in poverty. There's no reason why this should be generational trauma. Like, I make sure that whenever I parent my kids and I catch myself like, oh crap, that's stuff that my mom used to do. Or, oh crap, maybe this is stuff that was passed down to my dad, or, my grandparents were conditioned to be this way. So, both my parents turned out to be like this, anything negative. I'm like, it ends with me. Stop the generational trauma. Like, do the work on yourself. It's going to be uncomfortable. And you're going to probably learn some really crap things about yourself if you do the honest work. But there's never a bad time to change. There's never a bad time to change. And if you're a parent and you're like, no, I'm going to keep, beating my kid or busting my kid's ass because they misbehave, why not try it a different way? Why not sit down with them and have an explanation about why they're getting punished? Because kids are very insightful. And if you sit down and take the quality time to have discussions with your kids and to explain to them what they're doing wrong and guide them through it, that's what we do as parents. We are guides. If our kids don't know what they're doing wrong, then how are they going to make it right? And I tell my kids this all the time at home. If you don't talk to me and we don't have this discussion, if I don't know what I'm doing wrong, how am I going to be able to change it? Because going back to the subject of words, apologies only go so far. The best apology is changed behavior. And we need to start taking it upon ourselves as adults to teach our children that. And if we don't know that, then we need to learn that and integrate it within ourselves, no matter how uncomfortable it may be, and sit in it and sit with it, so we can change the world for the better, because it really begins with us. Don't keep using the past as an excuse. There's a lot of inner child work that we really all need to do. But don't let that keep you in a negative energy and giving it to your kids. That's not fair to them. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to the world. So I'm just saying today, go sit with a stranger, say hi, smile at somebody, tell somebody that you love them, call somebody that you haven't talked to in a while, and just say, hey, I was just thinking about you. I just want to check up on you and see how you're doing. When your kids get home from school, give them 30 minutes to an hour to relax, to not have to think about school, and then just kind of hang out in the living room. And maybe knock on their door if they want you to, and just be like, hey, I just want to check in on you. How have you been? And have a conversation. Sit down at a dinner table with your family and eat dinner. And talk about your day. Talk about feelings. Stop suppressing feelings. And I just want to end it by saying that if we're angry about something, we need to recognize that anger is deep sadness that we've held in for too long. And I'm not trying to invalidate anybody, feeling anger. I have my own problems with anger that I'm trying to transmute myself and heal within myself. I can't stay mad at the past forever. Grudges don't help. It keeps you trapped in this vicious cycle. And it doesn't do any good. It doesn't lift you up to a higher frequency or a vibration. And chances are, if you're always like that, people don't want to be around you. So start small and reach out to someone and let them know that you care about them. Start showing people that you love them and you want to know that they're doing well and you care about their well-being, because you never know who's struggling. You never know who's one step away from feeling so alone that they decide to just end it. And if more people know that others care about them and they're willing to talk and discuss, things, especially their feelings, instead of letting it fester and build to the point where they're just so angry all the time, so they just say whatever they want to, no matter how ugly it is, and then not take accountability for it. Make it stop with you today and try to inspire positive change. Thank you if you've made it to the end. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for support. Thank you for having a good heart and being a good human. And thank you for having a good soul and being a good soul. Let's start changing the world for the better. Let's start changing ourselves and our kids for the better. It ends with us. I hope this message got through to you guys. And if you did, please leave a comment. Thank y'all so much. Make someone's day today.